admit. So Jillian here will repeat me.
So Jillian here will repeat me.
We'll go ahead and start.
And we'll go ahead and start.
So welcome everybody.
So welcome everybody
to May MindFreedom Oregon meeting.
To our May MindFreedom Oregon meeting.
We have a guest, Christina Peirsol.
We have a guest, Christina Peirsol.
We're gonna thank her for years of leadership.
We'd like to thank her for years of leadership.
She's about to move from Eugene to Portland.
She's about to move from Eugene to Portland.
Then we'll hear a song from David Rogers.
And then we'll hear a song from David Rogers.
Thank Christina.
To thank Christina.
And then we'll hear from Mike Libachuk.
And then we'll hear from Mike Libachuk,
who's starting a new affiliate in Portland.
Who's starting a new affiliate in Portland.
And now we are recording this on Zoom.
Now we're recording this on Zoom.
So if that's a problem for you, please mute your video. Change your Zoom name.
So if that's a problem for you, please mute your video and change your Zoom name.
Any problems?
Any problems?
Okay.
Okay.
So Christina, are you there?
So Christina, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right.
All right.
Well, God,
Well, good.
I've been looking forward to this
I've been looking forward to
for
this
some time.
for some time.
To thank you.
To thank you.
My goodness.
My goodness.
It's been so many years.
It's been so many years.
And you've always shown such enthusiasm.
And you've always shown such enthusiasm
and upbeat passion.
and upbeat passion.
And being out the blossom as a psychiatric survivor.
And being out of the closet as a psychiatric survivor.
So I wanted to be sure to thank you.
So I wanted to be sure to thank you.
And we'll record this and get that out.
And we'll record this and get it out.
So thank you, Christina.
So thank you, Christina.
Well, thank you. And thank you, MindFreedom International, for all that it's brought me in my life. And
Hey, Christina, how long have you been that activist in Eugene area?
Hey, Christina, how long have you been an activist in the Eugene area?
I mean, I could answer that question multiple ways. I mean, I remember middle school, I had a chance to sign up for a program called the Peer Conflict Mediator, where I help my peers de-escalate conflict situations. It's like I remember in high school is when I first started working with the Boys and Girls Club. And so I felt like I got to work with my peers in leadership and really get to help out my community. But it was about 19 when I really started doing activism. And I think about 20 or 21 when I started working with MindFreedom. And I've always just really enjoyed that activism spirit. And the energy that I got to give as well as what I got back.
You know, about what year was that?
Oh,
MindFreedom.
maybe 2005 or 2006.
Wow.
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 Yeah.
Wow.
So, Christina, you've keynoted Peer Apocalypse last year.
So Christina, you keynoted Peer Apocalypse last year.
NAMI has given you an award.
NAMI has given you an
for
award.
your late work. So tell us about your background,
So tell us about your background
your story.
and your story.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say that my story is more common than I would like to know. But I think that parts of my story can resonate with all humans and all peers of the mental health system. I grew up in a pretty rough childhood, and so I quickly learned that I could get really appropriate positive reinforcement, positive and safe reinforcement for my community. So even in elementary school, I would find ways to volunteer. I started working at a senior's home, or working, but volunteering twice a week after school at a senior's home. Even in elementary school, it was just a nice place to be. It was a safer place to be. And I did receive a lot of positive reinforcement, and that helped me build certain skills that I think really makes me an activist and a community leader. In middle school, my mom married someone who was really well off. And so for the first time in my life, we really got to see what privileged health insurance looked like. And I guess with that privilege came a lot of disappointments. My mom really utilized the mental health system to try and figure out why her children were so emotionally intense and out of control. In middle school is really when I started struggling with my mental health challenges, and at the same time struggling to receive appropriate support. I started getting put on medication, and it just never stopped. I kept getting more and more medication, more and more pills. At some point, I just feel that I was medically sedated for compliance, or not being so high energy and so positive and so, full of happiness. I think my mom wanted to medicate that part away from me, which is really where I feel I was abused by the mental health system. I lost a lot of my middle school years and all of my high school years. And I want us to all think about the emotional intelligence that we grow during those years. High school years are probably some of the most vital for that young adult to adult transition, when we no longer see the world as gray and black, but we have to actually manipulate and play and use those shades of gray, those moral choices. And I was robbed of a lot of that growth being medically sedated. In fact, I want to state that the sickest I have ever been, when I had auditory and visual hallucinations, when I was most suicidal, when I was most sick, when I was most out of control, was when I was on medication.
So
I was really, oh yes, I'm sorry.
wondering what tools you used for recovery.
I'm wondering what tools you used for recovery.
I was really lucky that before I was very medicated, I had built some really awesome friendships. And my friends started noticing the difference of Christy. They saw the before and after, and I think they were scared. I think they didn't understand what they were seeing. And I was lucky enough that my friends could talk to me about it and talk to me about what they saw. And I think that really helped me. It helped me have other people than my mom and my family that was still an unsafe place. So I would say friendships were a huge part of it. Resilience, self-determination, belief that I deserve something better. I do remember before I was on medication, so I knew what my body could feel like, and so I definitely held on to that. And I also knew that as a child, I didn't have a level of autonomy or control over myself that I would as an adult, and I definitely held on to that fact too. In fact, when I was on a lot of medication, I think autonomy and thinking of myself was probably something that really helped me, because I was struggling so much in school, I started to fail. And if you fail school, if you fail your primary years, you have put such a block in your life if you don't get a general diploma. Like, it is extremely harder just overall for the rest of my life if I didn't obtain that piece of paper at the right time. So I was lucky. I put myself into an alternative school that worked with where I was at and what was happening to me in a more authentic way than I think a traditional school could.
So
I got to graduate, and I think that was something that really saved me too, is I got to accomplish that life goal of getting a diploma at an appropriate time.
So Christina, looking back over the last 15 or so years, what are a few of her highlights? I know you loved representing MindFreedom in Oregon country.
So Christina, looking over the last 15 or so years, what are a couple of your highlights? I know you loved representing MindFreedom at Oregon Country Fair.
You better keep representing MindFreedom.
And you better keep representing MindFreedom.
I sure am.
Good for
I
you.
would say one of my favorite, I feel like one of the things that was most profound in my favorite moments of working with MindFreedom is getting a chance to understand that we have such power as consumers, and we have such entitlement and right to be our authentic self. And I think that maybe it's just Eugene, maybe I'm lucky that I get to be in that hippie mecca, but I really feel like that MindFreedom has shown me that I can be authentically myself, no matter how fast I talk, how much that I like magic and fairies, no matter how much that I like being optimistic and happy and have high energy. You know, those attributes that I definitely know that isn't mainstream or works well in a business setting. I think I found that MindFreedom is really accepting and kind. I mean, I could say I love all the different things we do at Oregon Country Fair. Like, because of MindFreedom, I've had the opportunity to see so many great peers. I got to work with Patch Adams and Carl Hammerslag. That was phenomenal. I got to see Patch Adams have a booger hang out of his nose and still talk about the impact of love on a human life.
So great.
That's a 12-inch plastic booger. Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we asked David Rogers to pick a song to play for you. Thank you.
Speaking of that, we asked
Thank you
David.
so much.
All at once? Everyone's speaking at once. What was that now? I need to get this clear.
Go ahead, David.
Okay, so here we go. This is a song, Christina and I worked together at the country fair quite a few seasons on behalf of MindFreedom. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah.
Alrighty, so here goes. This is a protest song that concerns people with disabilities locked away against their will and political prisoners. Kind of a serious subject by Peter Gabriel. It's called Wallflower. And it gives me a chance to do a little experiment with a little guitar playing here so I can be a bit of a classical guitarist and a singer-songwriter as well. But this song is by Peter Gabriel. It's Wallflower. Here we go. Six by six, from wall to wall, shutters on the window, no light at all. Damp in the air, you've got damp in the bed. They're trying to get you crazy, get you out of your head. They feed you scraps and they feed you lies to lower your defenses. No compromise, nothing you can do, and the day can be long. Your mind is working overtime, your body's not too strong. Hold on, hold on. You have gambled with your own life, and you face the night alone. While the builders of the cages sleep with bullets, bars, and stone, they do not see your road to freedom that you have built with flesh and bone. They take you out and the light hurts your eyes to the talking room. It's no surprise. Pointed questions from clean white coats. Their eyes are all as hidden as their Hippocratic oaths. They tell you how to behave as their guest. You try to resist them, you do your best. They take you to your limits, they take you beyond. For all that they are doing, there's no way to respond. Hold on, hold on, hold on, please hold on. They put you in a box so you can't get hurt. Let your spirit stay unbroken, may you not be deterred. Hold on, hold on. You have gambled with your own life, and you spend the night alone, while the builders of the cages sleep with bullets, bars, and stone. They do not see your road to freedom that you have built with flesh and bone. Though you may disappear, you're not forgotten here. And I will say to you, I will do what I can do. Hold on.
David, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome, everybody, of course. My pleasure. Peter Gabriel's song, Wildflower.
Oh.
If you're unwell, maybe we can go to later to play again.
He said, if you're on later, maybe we can get you to play again.
Yeah, I have a little Beach Boys spoof I might do a little later on.
But Chrissy, two quick questions.
Chrissy, 2 quick questions.
Chrissy,
Christina.
first, can you tell us a little bit about all the peer support groups you're running now?
First of all, could you tell us a little bit about all those peer support groups you're running right now?
Sure. So I feel really lucky and blessed that I've been doing peer-delivered services in multiple ways for almost 15 years now. And one of the ways I'm really enjoying is offering online support groups or online one-on-ones. And again, I feel really lucky. I've been doing it for about 5 years, so even before the pandemic, which was really beneficial to have that type of experience, because since the pandemic, I have just voted on so many more support groups from different agencies, and it's really nice getting to have people from around the world. I've been in support groups as the leader where I've had people from, like, let's say India, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Jamaica, and Scotland, all in one group with like another 10 people. Like, it's so cool. I've actually hosted a support group where I heard the beeping of someone's hospital bed and they still got to attend group even when they were in hospital, because that's the care that they needed. I've even been able to offer people one-on-ones with someone who was in her closet because she was so scared having the meeting. And then the next meeting, she was right outside her closet.
So
And the next, she was on her bed. That type of growth, I just love being able to see in the people I work with. And it's cool. It's just all online.
Christina,
So,
one more
Christina, one more quick
and
question.
then we'll open it up for our viewers.
And then we'll open it up for our viewers.
What are your plans in Portland?
What are your plans in Portland?
So, absolutely, my plans in Portland. So I'm definitely still wanting to maintain my activism, but honestly, like, I've done peer-delivered services for so long, I'm not seeing such a clear trajectory for like having a higher quality living standard, like a good wage. So, I mean, I could either become a social worker, which is just a small step up, or a counselor, which I don't want to have to take off my peer title to make more money. I think that that's preposterous. And I'm glad that, like, I know there's things at the state level that's like working on fixing that, because I shouldn't have to work myself out of a peer to make more money. So I'm still trying to hold strong to peer delivered services, but I think I'm ready to do, I want to become a real estate agent. And I think that will allow me the flexibility to still be an advocate and an activist, as well as make more money and start a family.
How about MindFreedom Portland?
How about MindFreedom Portland?
Gosh, I was thinking about that today, and I feel like it could go so many different ways. I know that the supports that we have in Eugene that give us that stability is amplified in Portland. We have Rethink Psychiatry that was really close, and we have so many other organizations that hold the spirit of Mind Freedom, even more than Eugene. I think that it's time to see what's out there and what's already being created, and how that Mind Freedom can add to the energy that's moving in the right direction and start getting Portland Mind Freedom's name a little bit more recognized. So that's one thought. I'd also like to push membership to help with funding Mind Freedom. And then I'm still going to maintain being coordinator for Mind Freedom for Oregon Country Fair, and that is currently in progress. I've actually already talked with the office, and Kelly's interested in maybe doing a workshop. So we are definitely appropriately rolling the ball on that task. I don't know. I have ambitions, maybe not this year, but maybe next, being in the parade, because I love being in parades, and it's something that Mind Freedom has always brought to my life, and I love it so much that I want to bring it to other people's life, and so I'd love to have volunteers with a parade.
Let's hear from the participants. John Doe had a question.
Oh, so John Doe had a question for you.
John Doe.
John Doe?
Yeah, hi, this is John Doe. On the internet, I go by John Doe, but in real life, it's Kevin Fitz. So just don't tell people on the internet that my name is John Doe on the internet. I just want to say, I've been doing this for a while. There was a period where I was out to sea with my own challenges, but through people like Mike and David and Drake and people, I sort of try to pay attention to who are the superstars, who's rocking it, what's going on where. And it's probably been at least 10, 12 years that I've, and for the first 7 of those, I was kind of coming back from my own alcoholism, hearing about Chrissy and her value to the Eugene community on the Lane Behavioral Health Community Advisory Board, to the support she was doing for other college students and stuff like that. Her support with the Spectrum agency, all of that sort of stuff, just Eugene centric and awesome community sort of engager. And I'm a huge fan and very excited what the next step for you in your career. I hope you go into commercial real estate development and help get peer respite facilities and help us locate that and do all that sort of stuff. That'd be a great synergy. I just want to say thank you for all your work and your commitment to the Eugene community, and and I hope that things continue to grow and get more exciting moving forward. And also, John Doe was the guy who pushed and supported her nomination to get recognition from Peer Apocalypse. And so John Doe personally is very proud of that accomplishment. So thanks, Chrissy. Also, as the vice chair of the Oregon Consumer Advisory Council, and a person who got in that position and on that council as a youth person to develop and get mature and to get our butts in line and provide temperament and disposition and fairness to everybody is just great. And so best wishes, Chrissy, with your next step. And Eugene's loss is Portland's gain. So also too, Mike Libacek runs a large consumer-run organization. There must be something in there that they could give her a good paying job. Mike, thank you.
Christina, did you want to respond?
So I want to say thank you so much, John Doe. And yeah, I'm really excited for coming up to Portland. And just seeing what is already happening and how Mind Freedom can best support. I know one of the things that I really like about Mind Freedom is often they're the keystone of a coalition. And that's, let's say, David Oaks was a lot of keystone to a lot of coalitions around Oregon. And I'd love to see if there's any of that energy left to just make sure that we can gather our voices together, because I think we're very mighty when we get a chance to speak together and go in one mission. And I think, can't wait to see what that is.
So any other comments or questions, raise your hand.
So any other comments or questions, raise your hand. No.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So Chrissy, I'm every time you speak, I'm just so struck by how incredibly articulate you are. Your intelligence just shines through, as well as your energy and your creativity. And I will certainly miss you. And I know wherever you go, you're just going to be a great addition to whatever organization, whatever occupation that you put your energy into. And it's just been a real pleasure over the years, Chrissy. And again, I'm going to miss you, and I wish you the best of luck.
There's
Thank you
somebody in
so
the
much.
Zoom waiting room. There's who's ever doing the controls. Janie Gullickson wants to be here for the celebration. She's in the Zoom waiting room.
Yeah,
We're working on it.
we can't find this
We can't find the
waiting room,
waiting room. You gonna go back?
but who else said there? And
Who else had their hand up?
Gosh, you guys, I just want to say I did not expect this meeting to go this way. Today's been a little bit of a hard day, and I did not think it was going to be such a nice meeting. I'm so glad we're recording this. I will probably listen to this every time that I feel sad to hear such positive things. Like, this is amazing. It's like a virtual hug. You guys are giving me a virtual hug right now.
Yeah, Chrissy. Yeah.
well said. And
Who else had their hand up?
go ahead, Luke.
Go ahead, Luke.
Okay. What I feel like we're recording this, and it's just this is a blast. And I was grateful about your story, some of your history, and I was really feeling you're in a really good position to address the topic of the stigmatization of this and how you that around in your life, and you're like in that space. I'm gonna be happy. And I really feel that shining from you. Big time. Way to go.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, Sarah.
Go ahead, Sarah.
I wasn't I didn't realize I put my hand up in the air, but as long as I have the floor, I'd like to use it. I just, Chrissy, I just want to honor you for all the work that you've done. And I know you and I have shared like some ups and downs together. And I know sometimes that when you are involved in visible organizations or groups that deliver peer support or solidarity to other people in distress, it can open you up to like a lot of vulnerabilities. And I really want to honor you for walking that walk, because being on the receiving end of like late night phone calls from people in distress, feeling like you're on call a lot, maybe sometimes being the unfortunate victim of being stalked or trolled. I really want to honor you for all that you've made yourself vulnerable, and then you've done it with such grace and without any malice or any kind of like selfishness. You know, I mean, you just really, I really want to honor that. So thank you for all your service.
Thank you so much for that. I want to do a comment to that. I want to say a comment to that. So Sarah, I want to thank you for that, because being an activist for this long, and I think almost every single person in this room has been an activist for probably even longer than me, but it can be hard. It can be hard sometimes maintaining volunteer activism. There's things that can happen. There's things that can be bad. There's things that can be unwanted. We work so often with people that are in an emotional or physical or vulnerable place, and it can be hard. And I've seen a lot of my peers, my activism friends, come and go because of some of the systematic inappropriate behavior, abuse, or things that can happen. And it can be really hard. And I think that is something I am kind of proud of myself, is holding that resilience. It's okay to have bad experience in places, but for me, it's not okay to give up. So that is definitely, I've learned that if I don't feel safe, or if I don't like the way I'm interacting, that I can choose to find a place that I do mesh with. Yeah, so I just want to give a shout out to that, because that is a big skill that I've had to use.
Well, thanks, Christina.
Thanks,
And
Christina.
if you're here for a while, you can work with our next guest, Mike Libachuk.
And if you're here for a while, you can be here with our next guest, Mike Libachuk.
You'll work with MindFreedom Portland,
If you work with MindFreedom Portland,
which is starting.
which is just starting.
But Christina, thank you for your many years of leadership.
Thank you for many years of
And I'm
leadership, Christina.
Looking forward to many more.
I'm looking
years.
forward to many more years.
So, Mike, are you there?
Mike, are you there?
I certainly am, and I hope Chrissy is still here because I wanted to thank her for all the work she's done. I've seen you evolve over time. You've done amazing work in advocacy, even from the get-go when you first walked into the meetings that were being held at the state. And I was very impressed by you then, and I'm even more impressed by what you've done since. I just want to thank you, and I'm very grateful that you're coming up to the Portland area. And it's great to have a true psych survivor, true line advocate, systems-wide and activist in Portland, another one like you. It's just amazing. So thank you so much for your move, I guess, although I doubt very much that you did it because of me, but it's good to have you here. Hopefully we can get together for virtual coffee or in-person coffee at some point.
Yes, absolutely. I will probably be sending you an email to see how we can set that up, just so we can understand what the foundational pieces of starting MindFreedom Portland can look like.
Yes, sounds great.
So,
Well, I'm looking forward to it too. You know it.
Great. Mike, most of us know you, but some do not. Can you tell us a little bit about you?
Well, I'll start with what brought me here. What brought me here was traumatic events. When I was 15, my father, who was a great man, had one failing, and that was he could get into fits of rage. And 3 of those fits of rage, I was the recipient of. And as a result, I thought I was a terrible person, etc. And I went 30 nights without sleep and ended up being diagnosed as having paranoid type schizophrenia. Later on, re-diagnosed a zillion ways and placed on lithium far too much in forced manners, essentially, far too much for too long. And I developed kidney disease as a result, and that required a kidney transplant. Between all that, I got involved in our movement when I was 27 and was elected the first president of the board of Mind Empowered Incorporated, a peer-run organization, and the first publicly funded one in Oregon. And from there, I've taken on several different roles. And what I've always found to be true is that if one is true to their heart, then their life's mission will come clear. And my heart has always been with working to affect change in a positive manner that will help people in their lives. And like the song Wallflower says, I mean, we really have been shoved aside, pushed down, marginalized, discredited, not listened to. We've had decisions made for us by clinicians who don't really understand us. We've been locked inside and traumatized by the system. The system, perhaps at some point, can really do a lot more good than harm. Hitherto, I haven't seen enough good come from it. That being said, because of the medications I was placed on and the quote unquote illness, which is a terrible word. I say that because the system uses it, that unfolded, it created, the treatment actually created the symptomology that I experience today. So currently I am having mood swings and challenges, and at the same time, I'm making the most of those and helping with my growth and helping others. So I'm currently the executive director at Folk Time, though I'm not here on Folk Time's behalf, nor am I representing Folk Time. I'm here because I'm eager to get involved again in the survivor movement. And what better way can I do that than be involved in an affiliate of MindFreedom? And so I'm eagerly looking forward to getting that underway. I've held various roles. One of them was the Office of Consumer Activities Director at the Oregon Health Authority Behavioral Health Division. And in that role, I really needed to learn to be a diplomat. So I became a diplomat. The radical in me, I had to push aside to be effective within that role. And in my current role at Folk Time, I can say that I'm much more allowed to be free to be me. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful place for me to be. And I'm extremely happy.
Tell people about Folk Time, Mike.
Folk Time is a peer-run organization by its bylaws, and everyone who works there is a peer. And we provide peer-to-peer services via contract for the most part within Clackamas County and within Unity in Portland. So every peer who works for us is supervised by one of us. Our contracts stipulate that, and we I believe are doing a lot of good within the areas that we're providing programming. In addition, we have a training center. We are the IPS, or Intentional Peer Support Hub for the state of Oregon. There's plans to develop further training opportunities, further scopes of training, such as advocacy, systems advocacy, how to engage in effective political action, Portland Hearing Voices, Train the Trainer, etc. And we have 4 social program sites. And that's where we started. Folk Time started in 1985 with a single program, Free to Be Me. And it has grown gradually and exponentially at times ever since. And it is my hope to bring Folk Time into a stronger position to affect change and a stronger position to walk alongside peers as they walk through their lives.
So tell us your vision about MindFreedom Portland, Mike. Short term, long term, any term, but your vision.
So a freshman term, fall term, just basically establishing it and getting it recognized, getting the affiliate recognized, having people become involved to some degree or another with the broader movement through the affiliate to help people gain a history of our movement. Where our roots are. My concern about what's now called the peer movement is that it's focused greatly on peer-to-peer services and not really understanding our roots, how we got here. And I think it's important to go back to those roots, because without that, the systems advocacy piece, the activist piece, is likely to be lost. And if we don't continue with that, then the system will push us and marginalize us into roles where, like Chrissy says, she doesn't get paid enough. It's true. People who provide those services in the roles such as Chrissy has taken on ought to be paid equivalent with the professionals that they are oftentimes not appreciated by. And so it's my main goal to help revitalize the movement from the roots up and through this in small ways, in the Portland way.
So I see David Rogers still on.
I see that David Rogers is still on.
Not to put you on the spot, David.
Not to put you on the spot, David,
But
hint, hint.
Can you think of a song to celebrate Mike starting MindFreedom Portland.
Can you think of a song to celebrate Mike starting MindFreedom Portland?
And
Well,
folks,
I sort of. You ready?
wait
Oh.
one moment.
Oh, wait,
Oh,
one
I'm
moment.
sorry. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Everybody,
Okay.
you can use chat to put questions and comments.
Oh, so everybody, you can use chat to put questions and comments on.
Go ahead, David.
Go ahead, David.
Okay, so
Does David know the song by Public Enemy called Fight the Power? Because that would probably be real good for Mike's new position.
that would be an excellent song. I don't have it prepped and ready, but I have a song that's all about me being right here on Zoom. This is a Beach Boys song, but I'm calling it In My Room Up on Zoom. Because in this case, empowering mind freedom in Portland, you wouldn't think it would start with your room, but after all, Brian Wilson, started his new psychedelic phase of songwriting from his room. So here we are. Here we are. There's a world where I can go and tell my secrets to. In my room, up on Zoom, in my room. In this world, I lock out all my worries and my fears in my room. Up on Zoom. Do my dreaming and my scheming, lie awake and pray. Do my crying and my sighing, laugh at yesterday. Now it's dark, I'll be alone, but I won't be afraid in my room. Up in Zoom. In my room, up on Zoom. In my room, up on Zoom.
David, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, David.
Oh, my pleasure. And I'm happy to be here. And once again, all the encouragement in the world to Christina to go ahead and do her thing up in Portland. I'm sure her services are going to be needed there.
And Mike,
Mike,
can you tell us how people can work with MindFreedom Portland? There's the email address for MindFreedom Portland.
there's an email address for MindFreedom Portland.
Good, Mike.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yes, what was the question?
Okay, people connect,
How can people, excuse me, how can people connect and support MindFreedom Portland? Is that the question? Yeah.
Yes, first send me an email and I'll have a one-on-one dialogue with you about that. There's a lot of planning I haven't yet done, so I really don't know how to answer that question fully. What I do know is that when I connect with people, ideas pop up, and the more people with whom I'm able to connect, the greater the field of ideas. So I know that there's plenty of room for people to be involved. Absolutely. For one thing, we have had an inside only approach to systems change pretty much ever since, David, you left MindFreedom. And I would like to see an outside-inside approach. And for those who are interested in being involved in the more outside approach, then MindFreedom Portland is all for you. And I would love to hear from you. Particular roles, I haven't yet defined them. Perhaps you, when we discuss things together via email and then by phone, can figure that out. So I would just really, really, really love to hear from people on that.
Mike and I tried to Facebook FaceTime each Thursday. So if you have an iPhone and want to connect with us, let me know.
Oh, so Mike and I try to FaceTime each Thursday. So if you have an iPhone and a way to connect, let David know.
Let me know.
Let him know.
Thank Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Christina.
Thanks, Christina.
David.
Thank you,
So
David.
we have a few minutes for check-in, comments, questions, how you're doing. Anybody want to check in?
So we have a few moments for questions, comments.
Two folks have their hands up.
Two folks had their hands up.
Let's hear from you.
Let's hear from you.
Hello.
Hello.
Michael, I have a question. This is Sarah. Is Folk Time still in the church basement off Burnside Boulevard?
Yes, we still have that location. That being said, since COVID started, we've gone online. And so there's lots of groups and opportunities online. To explore more about that, you can go to our website, which is basically folktime.org, folktime.org. And you can glean some information there. In terms of Free to Be Me, that first location of ours, that is the one just off of Burnside. Assuming there will be a when, and I certainly hope so, when we're able to meet together in person again, we will be using that basement site again. We have a few other sites as well. In addition, Folk Time recently had the great fortune of bringing aboard a new socialization director, and she's marvelous. Her name is Marissa, and I expect great things from our socialization programs under her guidance. And I do take socialization per se very seriously. Mind Empowered Incorporated had a socialization program, drop-in center. And that's actually where a lot of my healing began, was not only being president of the board, but I also was a customer, a recipient, whatever. And then I worked there. And without that experience, I questioned that my life would have gone in a positive direction. So there's great value to socialization programs, and we're going to keep them.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Anyone else?
Anyone else?
Other comments, questions?
Under comments,
check-in?
questions, or check-ins?
Yeah, this is Kevin. I'd like to comment.
Okay, Kevin,
Okay, Kevin.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to use a pseudonym on the internet because the FBI is all over my crazy active and stuff, and they're trying to shut me down.
Briefly.
Oh, briefly.
Okay, yeah. I do want to say, I just want to put a point in it. I love Mike like he's my older brother, and I particularly love to see the transformation where this radical, mind-empowered Octa leader became a state bureaucrat with the same passion, but also learning how to play the plastic game amongst the phonies with the high-paid managerial jobs. And what a wonderful skill set that you developed there. And I love you like a brother. And I'm so excited that you're heading Folk Time. So I'm glad to be here. And also the birth of MindFreedom Sellwood. Is that what it's going to be called? I look forward to participating in that. So thank you for all your work, and I'm very excited to see what comes next for you, brother. Thank you. Any feedback from anybody? Thanks.
Kevin, I'd like to give some feedback, if I may. I love you like a brother, too. You're an incredible person, and I look up to you in terms of activism. I also wanted to point out that yes, we will be developing a Facebook page, and all of you who send me in, now Kevin's immense a genius.
Oh, can I just say, when I first met Mike, I was very intimidated by how smart he was. He kicked my ass at chess. He was a Mensa guy, he was a computer programmer, and I was a high school dropout. And I thought, for sure, this brainy nerd ain't gonna want to roll with me because I'm a immoral shoplifter with an 8th grade education. And I was surprised how our relationship developed over the last 30 years. Thank you.
David said he just got 2 pieces of good news on the text here.
Yeah, first of all,
the
film orchestrating change will be delayed.
The film orchestrating change will be delayed.
We've been asking for that delay.
We've been asking for that delay
because there needs to be a dialogue.
because there needs to be a dialogue.
And also, second, we have an alert cooking to stop SB 187. We have an alert getting ready to
get out
and to stop 187. SB 187.
to stop SB 187,
Bad bill.
a bad bill.
Jacks up with that.
Jacks up with that.
So, any other comments?
Limit my mic time. Who could that be?
Any other comments or questions?
Any other comments or questions
from folks?
Are you muted?
Yeah, I want to say that I've talked to some people who attended the Ivory McCune vigil. I was a participant, and the attendees said it was every bit as beautiful and poignant as I thought it was. And so good job for everyone who participated, and David, you particularly, for organizing that event. So
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Doug. Thanks for speaking at it.
Thanks, Chuck. Thanks for speaking at it.
Thanks, David Rogers.
Thanks, David Rogers,
For playing at
for
it.
playing at it.
And
Anytime.
yes,
And yes,
her sister told me she's very happy.
her sister briefly said she was very happy about it.
So yeah,
So yeah,
we'll keep on working to honor the memory of Ivory.
we'll keep on working to honor the memory of Ivory.
And folks send email to Ivory Peer
And folks can email to ivorypeer
at gmail.com.
at gmail.com.
Doc.
Sorry, honey.
So we'll continue to honor Ivory.
So we'll continue to honor Ivory.
Anybody else want to comment, question, chicken?
Real quickly, this is Laura Rose, and I just want to say I'm so excited for our state and for the next chapter with this new organization unfolding. Thank you for the leadership steps, and what a great team to start it off with. This is wonderful. Thank you for this time. I'll never forget the music from today as such a special piece of the occasion, as well as seeing all of you here. And thank you, Chrissy, so much for your help with Oregon Consumer Advisory Council. All these years I got to know you and work with you, and I know the future holds so much. You give me so much hope and encouragement by seeing our younger generation taking leadership roles on such important topics, and also just being so real. And you're a trailblazer with peer telehealth, a champion. There's so many things we have in common. It's been an honor to work with you on so much, and all the others here on this call. I really look forward to the next chapter. Thank you.
And Laura Rose, tell people how to find Peer Galaxy on the web.
And Laura Rose, tell people how to find Pure Galaxy on the web.
Oh, you can visit puregalaxy.com, and we have an online calendar with over 45,000 offerings every month, peer support, recovery, and wellness activities, plus warm lines, consumer input opportunities. So I definitely want to get news of events like this that we can share with the community of peers in Oregon and beyond. And I will definitely be helping post events like this. Thank you.
Thanks, yeah. Thank you for working with us on a workshop this week. Beer Pot.
Thank you for working with us on the workshop for Beerpocalypse this weekend.
It's neat to see what great things they
Oh,
do in
David.
Green County.
Any other comments?
Can I follow up, Laura Rose? Can I follow up, Laura Rose? This is Luke.
Of course,
David.
please.
Fantastic. And also Mike, follow up about folk time and all that was shared there. But this is, this is for Chrissy too, because we're so excited to be welcoming you into Portland area. This comes at a really good time. I want to just say really briefly, all of the reception of the idea of doing something similar to our recovery learning community to support and coordinate our peer-run organizations here in the Northwest has gone over very, very, very well. Very well. I just talked with Caroline, who works with Hearing Voices Network on the Hearing Voices Network facilitator network, I called earlier today too. And there's support just from all sides. And working with MindFreedom and Folk Time and Hearing Voices Network here in the areas, these are like key. Thank you so much. Looking forward to that next chapter, Laura Rose, for sure.
Yes. May I follow up, David, for just very briefly? I just wanted to say what I told you when you told me that Chrissy was going to come up to Portland. It's like, oh, good. Now I can succeed at developing this affiliate.
Good. And Luke mentioned the name of your group.
And Luke, could you mention the name of your group?
I saw the video.
So I saw the video.
Luke?
Great. Yeah. Are you talking about the Reconnecting with the Earth for Personal and Global Healing?
Yes.
Yep. This is I'm feeling called to present a tree. They have the Wildflower Alliance, the Fireweed Collective, the Milkweed Alliance, and I feel really called to a tree. So I would like to present the Rowan Tree Alliance for us in the Northwest. Rowan tree is also known as the ash tree, and it's been used for ages and ages and ages for healing.
Thanks.
And so it'll really serve well to bring in the community wellness support.
Thank you, Luke.
Piece. Yep.
Anyone else?
We're about to end.
We're about to end.
Thank you all for being part of this.
Thank you all for being part of this.
And thanks, our guests.
Thanks for
historic. Yes.
Thanks, Chrissy.
Revolution.
Who's the pretty lady,
everybody?
Next to you.
Kevin, there he is. There's his name, the real name.
Wow.